Today, we explore why your mind keeps repeating the same old stories. Stories of doubt, fear, and self-limitation. And this happens even when you deeply desire change. You know that feeling. No matter how hard you try to think positively or to move forward, your mind quietly keeps pulling you back into loops of self-doubt, anxiety, procrastination, fear of failure, or fear of being seen. These stories live deeply within your subconscious mind, and they were formed in times when it tried to protect you because you were particularly vulnerable. Perhaps you were once misunderstood, criticized, or even rejected for showing your true self. Or maybe you were told you were not good enough, or that you had to become someone else in order to be accepted. I know very well what that's like. There was a period in my life when I slipped deeply into a perfectionist mindset. I was organizing everything with extreme precision. My thoughts, my actions, and where I spent my energy throughout the day. On the surface I was thriving, but there was a huge downside of it. I was often stuck in analysis paralysis, overthinking every word and every gesture, and trying to calculate every possible outcome of situations and to avoid every possible mistake. This is an example of an old story playing in my mind, one of control masking the fear of showing weakness and vulnerability. I was really afraid of what people will think of me if I fail. What if they judge, criticize, or even reject me if I'm not perfect? You might not realize it yet, but your old story isn't a reflection of your truth. It's just a survival script your mind once used to protect you. A pattern created during times of chaos, heartbreak, betrayal, burnout, or pain. It might have served you back then, but now all that it's doing is to be keeping you stuck. And the harsh truth, you can't positively think your way out of it. Because those stories don't live in the logic. They live in the emotional body, in the nervous system, in the quiet inner moments when you're alone with your thoughts. This is why awareness here is everything. But awareness paired not with judgment, but with true, sincere compassion. I want you to ask yourself now, what is this story protecting me from? What past pain does it guard me from feeling? Who did I have to become in order to keep myself safe and avoid experiencing that pain again? When you state these questions to yourself, not with shame, but with genuine curiosity, the old story in your mind begins to lose its grip. It stops defining you. That's when you create the space for something new, not by force, but by gentle invitation. For me, living a minimalist, purpose-driven life has been key in this transformation. I choose fewer but more meaningful pursuits, like reading, physical training, writing, dancing, connecting with genuine people, and nurturing my spiritual growth. This structure helps me stay clear, focused, and emotionally grounded, so that the old mental stories no longer distract my attention. Dear friends, your mind is like a radio. If you keep tuning into the same frequency, you'll keep getting the same content. It's time to switch the channel with the one that best suits you. But you can only do that when you stop trying to silence the old story and start listening to it not with judgment, but with compassion and self-awareness. Let me remind you, dear friends, your doubts that you carry are not your truth. They're only echoes of moments when life was heavy, although you were doing your best to cope with them. Now, I invite you to pause and reflect. First, what old story am I replaying that no longer fits the person I'm becoming? Second, what emotion or feeling have I been afraid to express fully? because maybe it's time now to face it with grace. And third, what would my life feel like if I chose to believe in something more empowering instead? As we are approaching the end of the video, I want to assure you, you're not broken. You're in the process of becoming your best self. Sometimes, all it takes is one small act of self-awareness. Only one moment of deep inner honesty to begin shifting the pattern. You're not here to live in survival mode. You're here to evolve, to thrive, to build a legacy of true meaning and fulfillment. In conclusion, by gently changing the channel your mind is playing, you're inevitably also changing the story you follow. Not because your past didn't matter, but because your future matters even more. Let's tune into the channel of your best self with a limitless mind and make it your present reality. Feel free to share your old mental stories in the comments below, and let's start changing those narratives together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next meeting. Stay safe.